What happened?
What happened? Pressure. The pressure to be so cool and so popular and to never say the wrong thing to anyone, so I'm cool with everyone. The pressure to drink and get high.
Yeah, because this is what happens to everyone after they smoked a weed at one point in their life, right? You know, the first day you're feeling giddy, you're feeling happy, you got a bad case of the munchies, and then the following morning you wake up to discover you've suddenly transformed into, what am I supposed to be looking at here? A hairless orangutan in overalls with no neck? Hey dudes, what's up? My name is OK Kyle, and today we're going to be looking at the weird world and just abject failure of anti-drug PSAs. So, for some reason on TikTok and YouTube, I have seen nothing but an overabundance of anti-smoking ads and campaigns. You know the ones, right?
Be the generation that stops smoking.
But after seeing some of these ads, I was teleported back 20 years into the past, reliving buried cringe that I thought I had lost forever. That was until my brain grabbed a shovel and reminded me of the horrors of anti-drug PSAs. Right? It was early in the morning. You had to come to either the cafeteria or the auditorium in a single file line, moaning because you had better things to do with your 6-year-old brain. And for an hour, you had to witness unparalleled cringe from a group of failed improv comedians who were cool with a K because they were rude dudes with tubular tudes, man, trying to get the message to the kids that, hey, don't smoke the devil's grass. That's not cool. Just say no. As a kid, I was dared not to smoke weed or touch drugs. But here I am, 20-odd years later, a filthy degenerate because I dared to smoke a weed and eat an edible and have an incredible trip. Fuck me. I'm a terrible human being. I'm so sorry. I failed you, society. Oh my god, I can remember it vividly now. It was just like a group of white guys, and they all wore neon colors for some reason, because I guess kids have the attention span of a fucking goldfish with ADHD. And they would do these like squeaky clean PG rap verses from like hardcore West Coast hip hop. I think they did like a fucking whitewashed Kids Bop version of like Ain't Nothing But a G-Thang, but it was like for kids. What? Oh my god, they would beat your brain with a baseball bat like it's a piñata at someone's fucking quinceañera and all the kids are waiting to get their turn. Like, Jesus Christ. The only message that I can recall with crystal clear memory, sort of, kind of, it's a little foggy up here, but they would beat the message into your brain that drug dealers would just kind of approach you in the middle of like the street or the sidewalk or a very public area and just offer you drugs. You don't walk up to a bunch of moms at a fucking soccer game and be like, hey, I got you hooked up. You want to do some heroin? Like, what? That's just a bad business acumen. Like, what? Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think we can all agree that these anti-drug PSAs were a giant failure from the get-go. Considering most of my generation is caught up in an ongoing opioid epidemic, most of them are either dead or have a crippling addiction. Yeah, because that's a good way to start off a comedy video on YouTube, right? You come to escape the cold horrors of reality, and yet here I am reminding you of them. So now with that being said, let's look back on some of these PSAs and just judge them on their overall effectiveness on keeping kids away from drugs, okay?
Hey, what about me?
Hey, what about you?
Oh, come on.
Give her some.
Yeah, give me some.
All right. You want Meth Kid?
Let's start off by asking the very obvious question in the room, shall we? Who the fuck is this eager to smoke crystal meth? When I go to a party, I want to max and relax, you know? Chill, vibe, kick off my shoes and have a grand old fucking time with some friends and just escape my worries for the night, you know? I came for a good time, not to fuck up my life. The setting of this ad indicates that this is like a house party or a high school gathering. And when this presumably 16 to 17-year-old girl stepped out of the house and sees a group of people a few feet away gathered in a circle what should her first thought be exactly? What happens when you put the two puzzle pieces together? You're probably thinking, oh, they're smoking weed. I want to go join them. I want to relax. I want to vibe. So I guess I'm going to go smoke some weed now. Weed is a social drug. This is what you and your two favorite cousins do when you go for a walk on Thanksgiving. Who the hell smokes meth in a large group setting like this, other than people outside of a trailer park? It goes from having a good time to, congratulations, you fucked up your life in the matter of 3 seconds. She hasn't even touched the communal meth pipe, and now all of a sudden she has a drug baby.
You want Meth Kid? And your meth baby.
A dealer.
And here's your meth dealer.
And a crippling addiction. If you'll notice, this is a very common theme that I remember when being subjected to this bullshit. They rely solely on horrific imagery to deter you from going down the meth route in the visual novel that is your life.
And don't forget your meth face.
So overall, I would say this ad is a giant failure from the get-go.
This is crack.
Ah yes, the Pee Wee Herman anti-crack ad. Or if you're a Wall Street banker, cocaine is the bougie man's crack. Now this one is a few years before my time, but I wanted to talk about it because, one, it's not that informative at all, even though they're trying to portray it as a very serious societal matter by having Pee-wee sit down in a blacked out room in a director's chair with a vial of cocaine in his hand. Sorry, crack. But if you look behind all of this, you'll realize that there's a beautiful irony when you think about it for more than a second. Have you ever seen an episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dwayne.
Dwayne Hill.
Dwayne, a bathtub. I'm drowning. Ha, 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 ha.
It's a show where a sentient ventriloquist doll lives in a house where all the furniture is alive and screams at the top of their lungs when someone, unbeknownst to them, says the secret word of the day.
Good word. Scream real loud. Ready? Let's try it. Hey, Magic Scream. What's that red thing over there?
What's a silly question, Pee-wee? It's the door.
It's a place where Pee-wee keeps the severed head of a genie in a box and forces him to make wishes until Pee-wee's dying fucking breath.
Hi, Jambi.
Hi, Pee-wee. Are you ready to make today's wish?
No, but I'll take a prediction.
Go watch an episode on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they're there. And then while watching, ask yourself, what the fuck were the writers on when coming up with these bizarre ideas for a children's TV show? A Native American Asian girl? Who would have thought of that? Like a young woman coming to terms with her sexuality. Let's be honest here. Okay? This looks fucking amazing, doesn't it? I mean, what kind of person doesn't want a pet pterodactyl and be friends with Cowboy Curtis before he entered the fucking Matrix?
Howdy, Cowboy Curtis.
Howdy, Pee-wee.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the best part of it all is that this message is being brought to you by Pee-wee fucking Herman of all people. A giant hypocrite. I mean, here he is, sitting in this chair, looking like Mark Zuckerberg wished he was a real boy, telling me not to get my rocks on, but, you know, it's okay for him to get his rocks off in a porn theater. What I'm trying to say is, pick a lane and stick with it, Pee-wee.
So, Sarah, what's going on here? Sarah? Sarah?
She won't answer you. Or she can't. This is the way it's been since she started smoking pot.
I mean, you know what? This ad doesn't really rely on scare tactics to begin with, so I'll give it that, but I have to give it some bonus points for accurately depicting what you kind of do after you smoke a joint. You're just kind of laid out on the sofa like a giant flesh puddle, having a good old time, laughing at the dumbest shit, and just hypothesizing about stupid scenarios that only drugs could conjure. This is what's called a good trip. You aren't freaking out, you aren't hyperventilating, you aren't sweating like you just ran 10 miles in the fucking hot Arizona sun. I mean, if I do have one minor criticism though, it's that Sarah should have been a good teammate and passed the blunt around just a little bit. But, you know, that's what she does best. She's not the one buying, but she is the one burning it, so fuck her. One thought I had when watching this was, whoever wrote this ad did some really good top-notch researching. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, this idea was really fucking good to begin with. How did the writer capture Sarah's essence of just being frumpy and laid out?
Hey, Lindsay? I wish you didn't smoke weed.
Holy shit, dude, I am so fucking high right now that my dog is fucking lip synced and it's talking to me. Oh my god, dude! This is some really good fucking weed, man. What the? Oh my god, this is amazing. Listen here, you little furry fuck. We can't get what we always want, alright? You want me to stop smoking weed? I wish you would stop making direct eye contact with me when you're licking your balls. Oh wait, what's that? Oh right, you don't have your balls anymore because snip snip, motherfucker.
You're not the same when you smoke. And I miss my friend. I'll be outside.
So wait a minute, you're telling me if I smoke weed, I can talk to my dog? I can have a conversation. How exactly is this a bad thing? Is this ad a failure? Yeah, because who doesn't want to talk to their dog, regardless of if they're high or not? That just sounds like a pretty good time to me. But I think we can all unanimously agree that these ads were a giant abject failure to begin with. They might have dared us to rise above the influence. They might have told us to just wave our fingers and say no, like your very nosy white neighbor staring at the black family moving in across the street. I'm not saying you were better off throwing money into an open fire. I'm just saying there are better ways to waste money. So with that being said, my name is OK Kyle. And I will see you dudes in the next video. Adios, guys.